Thank you for watching this short video. For those who don't really know who I am, I'm Brother Sean. I'm an enclosed, independent lay monastic, a Catholic Christian who is a member of the Teo community of interspiritual Franciscans, founded by St. Francis in 2008. This short video, about 10 minutes, is really focusing on spiritual socialism and its connection with the cosmic Christ. Last evening, after our midnight vigil, I was just trying to relax and have a cup of coffee and just chill when I got a very strong, heart-centered impulse to write what I was being given in my heart about spiritual socialism. And I thought to myself, wow, that's a new one on me. But then it became clear of the scene of Jesus in the temple when the market traders had taken over the temple of God. And Jesus was told of it, and he came in such a furor and a temper that he started kicking the stallholders' tables, and they looked on him in absolute panic, and he ordered them out of his Father's house for desecrating it and turning it into a den of thieves. I had an experience several years ago which challenged my faith. A lot of people believe that a building that was once consecrated by God as a house of worship, and then over the years when its purpose is no longer required and it's deconsecrated by man, they have the impression that it's no longer a sacred place. Well, I've got news for you. I'm told in my heart by the God that I love, that you love, that such a place that was once consecrated by God in the presence of angels still remains a consecrated domain. For what God initiates, man has not got the power, however holy, however commissioned, and however blessed they may think they may be. It is only God who can decommission a building, even though he has appointed representatives. But in light of representatives getting it wrong and leaving the children of God bewildered and confused. But many church buildings now that have been made redundant, and one that I know of in Manchester that was once a Franciscan church that I visited and went to, runs mind, body, spirit events there, where there's tarot readers and psychics in the temple of God. So it's a modern day version of what Jesus did in the temple of his Father. He went in and he kicked ass. I love that expression, don't you? He kicked ass. But today, spiritual socialism is very much, I believe, akin to the heart of Christ. It's about alienating the heart from confusion. And though religion has offered another pathway to try and connect with God, it is not God. It could never be God. But what is so challenging is that down through the centuries, man has abused his position given to him by God, and through not walking the talk but talking the walk, has in a way disengaged God's children from God. Spiritual socialism is radical teachings, a radical way of life. where once you surrender your heart to God, you surrender it totally, completely. But what's been happening is that in our world of today, where so many have lost sight of who they are as a child of God, even the representatives of God, the monks, the priests, the nuns, the imams and rabbis, and the other holy men and women, many are offering lip service to God because their hearts are racked with guilt or fear. They're afraid to speak out within their own religious family for fear of being castigated, losing their livelihood, being unable to cope in a recession. And I've witnessed it myself in the monastic life, where there was a core group who were truly committed and devoted, but they were few and far between. A spiritual socialism is offering each child of God, I believe, the hand to embrace God, where there is a sense of community, shared ownership, where no one individual has the power to control or destroy, and where individuals who give lip service to God are removed from the people of God by God. A spiritual socialism is very much akin to the Franciscan values of Francis, where he gave us 4 spiritual ecologies. One for the earth, to see God and embrace God in everything. A social ecology, to embrace one another in love, where there's respect and mutual trust. And that is lacking today, don't you think? Because of the examples that we've been given from many in the big corporations, where greed has finally exposed them for their corruption, their deceit. As has happened recently in our own country here in the United Kingdom with journalists who have broken every code in the book on getting a story, using unlawful means, illegal means. Criminal acts have been committed where they've hacked into people's phones and messages and caused mayhem and untold suffering. They thought that their sins would never get found out, but they have. And many now are being brought to heel and having to face judicial inquiries and the criminal courts. And now there's a new thing come on, which is called historical sexual abuse, where individuals are being accused of sexual acts going back 20, 30, 40 years. And so too with religion and the church, whereas spiritual complacency and arrogance has left so many ordinary churchgoers totally bereft and confused, that now the cosmic Christ is kicking ass. And he's calling on the whole children of God from all faiths and none to unite against the injustices perpetrated by people who should know better. The children of God today lack good role models. And the media has almost become the new God on the block, leading so many people away from their truth. In monastic communities, and ours is no different, there are individuals who come for the right reasons to give their life to God, to dedicate their skills for God's service and God's children. And there are those who come offering lip service and giving off all the right signals that they're interested, committed, but deep down their agenda is to satisfy their own ego, disregarding the consequences and the impact that their actions might have, which is very much fueled by their own egoistic values. Spiritual socialism, for me, is an invitation to embrace spiritual equality, an equality that embraces all faiths and none, that embraces all lifestyle choices and none, an ecology that embraces every child of God and sees them as their equal. For me, that is spiritual ecology inspired by the cosmic Christ. Are you willing to take up the gauntlet and be part of that?